Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and this is BP NFL. It's Thursday Night Football, and Scott Bogman and I are going to break down the game, and this time it's personal because it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Scott Bogman's beloved Steelers will be playing the Cincinnati Bengals, one of his more hated teams there. Not so much as the Ravens, but I do believe...
I definitely disrespect the Bengals more than any other team in the NFL.
But you hate the Ravens. I feel like the Ravens is like a hatred for you.
I do hate the Ravens, but I'll tell you what. Beating Cincinnati in Cincinnati is my favorite thing that the Steelers do, because then I get to watch all those sad Bengals fans go down the escalator of sadness, right? Yeah. That giant escalator from the third deck down to the first deck to go to your crappy car, and you still have to live in Kentucky. That's what I love about beating the Bengals.
Live in Kentucky. So. I like that you threw that in there. All right, remember, everybody, while you're watching the show, don't forget we got free stuff to give away. Nick Chubb signed helmet for free is going to go to somebody. Let that somebody be you. Go to pristineauction.com for all of your cool autographed helmets, jerseys, and whatnot. But if you want to win this Nick Chubb one, well, there's one way to do it. Go to bettingpros.com/contest, complete the form there, and here's what you do. You download the Betting Pros app, you leave a review of the Betting Pros podcast, you subscribe to the social media channels at Betting Pros on X, on TikTok, and Betting Pros NFL on the IG. The more actions you complete, the more entries you'll receive. And guess what? We'll be announcing the winner right here on the channel, so subscribe and ring the bell till it goes ding, so we can let you know if you're the big winner and you never miss an episode of Betting Pros. All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape here in this contest. On BP right now, the consensus line -5.5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers at +101. That's the best number you're getting. And then +5.5, -102 for Cincinnati. Over 42.5 at -115. The under at 43.5, -108. -240 on the money line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. +235 for the Bengals. I've had some strong opinions about the games, these standalone games, the last couple weeks here. This one, I don't love the game itself. I got to tell you, I feel like this has a lot of range of outcomes here. I think the Steelers have been beaten up on some teams that are kind of mid. And frankly, again, Joe Flacco does change the dynamic here. He's a little bit more dangerous than Jake Browning. And he kind of proved that last week with just a couple days to prepare. So even though Bogman in the show sheet wrote the words, "Come on, Joe, how could you do this?" Basically, Joe. Come on. If I had a lean, the lean would be taking the points with the Bengals. I don't think they win this game. I think the Steelers do. But 5.5 in division games, short week, in their own building. I think Cincinnati tries to make some kind of a last stand. I don't think it'll fall short. But when you have Jamarr Chase and T. Higgins, there's even garbage time to come back in these. And that's why I don't think this 5.5 is necessarily safe. So honestly, I'm sure that Bogman will disagree with this wholeheartedly. But it's always business before personal here. So walk us through your thoughts on this game, because I don't have a take on the over-under here. Again, I think it's a good number. I think everything here is pretty good. I'm not touching the total either. So
I'm not messing with the total at all.
But do you think the 5.5 on the Steelers side, -5.5, is okay?
I think it is, but I'll say this. You're right. It's a Thursday night football game, right? And it's Steelers-Bengals. It's divisional weird game. We just saw the Giants. The favorite, I believe, the last 3 weeks in a row is lost straight out.
Yep.
On
and I was on the Giants last week too, if you recall. Remember?
You were.
And I said the same thing. I was like, in division game, last stand kind of feeling. I was like, give me, and I think, I'm trying to remember, was it 6.5? I think it was 6.5 we were getting with.
It doesn't matter. The Giants won.
The Giants won, right. But I'm just saying, it was the principle of they're going to give it everything they've got. It's an in-division game, Thursday night, short week, in their own building. Like, they're going to be out there rocking and rolling. And I think they sent a message.
I just don't think they match up well. I think that's what it is.
Nobody matches up well for them because, unfortunately, the Bengals defense is terrible.
Well, Turner's been playing okay, but Hendrickson and B.J. Hill are less than 100%, right. And that is, that's a 50% of your line that already sucks, right? Like that's a difficult thing to overcome. Now, maybe T.J. Watt doesn't play, right? He got hurt at the end of the game last week. He didn't practice yesterday on Tuesday. We're recording this on Wednesday. Don't know what he's going to do today, so he's questionable for this game as well. There are a bunch of different mitigating circumstances that make this not a great bet. I'll say that. But I think with the, what's going on with Pittsburgh and what's going on with Cincinnati are complete polar opposites. Doesn't mean that Cincinnati can't win this game straight out and at least beat the spread, but I just think the way these two teams are going, the injuries that the Bengals have had to to work through, specifically at the quarterback position. Just take away the defense, but the QB position, Flacco is a nice, I'm as mad as Tomlin was. Did you see Tomlin in his press conference going like,
Tomlin's not wrong.
I don't know why you trade a starting quarterback to a division opponent. Andrew Berry must be smarter than us. By the way, that was the first trade between the Browns and Bengals ever. Did you know that?
And on top of that, I think it did send a message to the rest of the Bengals, which is like, hey, we are not throwing in the towel this season,
right?
Which I think matters, which is, again, do they have enough necessarily to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers? I don't think so. But I'll be damned if I'm going to take the 5.5 with Pittsburgh. I just don't feel like it's a confident thing. And to your point, we have seen this trend time and time again on these Thursday night games. We saw it just last week. We had this. I feel like it's deja vu all over again.
It might be like, and the Steelers love to get into close games, make them 1-score games, and give your boy a heart attack every single week. So that's basically what happens. I think the big mistake is made from the Bengals side. I don't think it's made from the Steelers side in this game. Bengals are at home. It's a weird game, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's that garbage time Joe Flacco slinging the ball everywhere that really scares the pants off me. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
And he's got Jamarr Chase. I mean, look, let's be honest. If Joe Flacco had Jamarr Chase's whole career, I wonder what that would have looked like. He's got to be sitting there like, man, this is fun. Where was this my whole life? Where was this when I was with the Ravens?
12 targets. 12 targets after 4 days of practice or whatever is a pretty nice result there. We'll take that.
Well, more on Jamarr Chase a little later. Before we get to the props here, let's talk about Hard Rock Bet, the sponsor of our show, Hard Rock Bet. You don't have to wait for week 7 to kick off now to get in the action. You don't have to. There's always something to bet on, and if you haven't tried yet, download the Hard Rock Bet app. Bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets when your first bet hits. You get your winnings. You get 150 in extra bonus bets. What more do you need? I don't know. You also got baseball going on. If you think baseball's slow, well, it's not, especially in the postseason, especially when you got a little skin in the game. So right now, you can bet on baseball. You've got NBA cooking up. You got NHL. You got a lot happening. And since it's Wednesday right now as we're recording this, you're already betting on the Hard Rock Bet Sports app. You know what that means. The last day to use your legendary reward drop. So open the app today and you could have a bonus bet. Who knows what's in there? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Joe Flacco's in there waiting for you. More drops every single Thursday. And if you love betting, which of course you're listening to this, so you must, then of course you love the promos, you love the rewards, and the nonstop action at Hard Rock Bet. The legendary reward drops again on Hard Rock Bet happen every single week. So check it out today. Download the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app and make your first deposit today. All right, next up here are the props. So let's go through these here, Boggs, and let's talk about them. Last week you were 3-2 on the Thursday Night Football, and on the
Jaden Daniels fumble, Joe.
Yeah,
is why I wasn't 4-1.
You should have been 4-1. You should have been.
So aggravating. I was 2 yards short.
It is. And of course, I was over again last week on the SGPs. I mean, for the record, I did tell everyone bet the Bijan stuff separately. Add in Debo for fun, but the official one was Debo, but it was the Bijan yardage total combined over and then the touchdown, which basically got in the first, 8 seconds of the game. I feel like 8 seconds in. Is that how many seconds it took for Bijan to hit that?
It was a real fast 81-yard touchdown.
It really was. But anyway, again, we keep it real here on the show. So let's start here with Jaylen Warren. His prop is 49.5 for the rushing yards. You want to go over or under this?
We're going to go over that one. Now, Jaylen was out for the Ireland game, and he was eased back in, I believe, probably because this game, was going to be on short rest. They gave Gainwell 6 carries. He also gave Caleb Johnson 6 carries. But Cincinnati, 27th in rush yards allowed per game, 27th in run defense grade. And as I mentioned before, Trey Hendrickson questionable, and so is BJ Hill, a big interior defender for this defense. So I think a little less in that rotation. I think Warren gets a little more work in this game, and I think he can clear this fairly easily because Cincinnati's run D hasn't been good with everybody out there, and everybody might not be out there.
All right, speaking of running backs, Chase Brown has been a bit of a frustrating asset in fantasy this year, that's for sure. But again, now the dynamic of the offense might change a little bit here. So let's talk about this offense now that Joe Flacco's under center. The number for him, very low, 44.5 rushing yards. You want to go over or under there?
We're going to go under on this one. Cincinnati's dead last in rushing play percentage. Brown had 37 carries in the first 2 weeks and has since had 37 carries in 4 games. Could have been because this game, but could have just been because this game is on short rest. But P. Ryan had 6 carries to 9 for Brown last week, and he was in 30 snaps. For 30 snaps, P. Ryan was to 35 for Chase Brown. So it might have been to pass block, right? Joe Flacco is brand new there, but none of these guys are very good at pass blocking at all. Honestly, if you're going to put somebody back there to pass block, you might as well just stick a tight end, because the grades for these guys, I mean, for Chase Brown, it was like 18.8 and it was like 34 for Samaje Perine. These guys have not been good at it, but Pittsburgh's run defense has been decent this year, usually good. They did have a bad game against Ken Walker. He went 13 for 105, but Judkins last week, 12 for 36. Mason was 16 for 57. I don't think Brown gets that many carries in this game. Henderson, 11 for 28. And then your Patriots combined, Gibson, 4 for 28, Steven, 4 for 18. Not much there. And they held Sharps to 15 rushes for 10 yards in that same game where they gave up all those yards to Ken Walker. So I do expect Chase Brown to become a better player with Joe Flacco at the helm, but this is the first 2 weeks with him. It's still barely over a week that he's been with this organization. So I just don't think he's going to run that much. And, the spread says the Bengals are going to be down and playing from behind late. So that's just fewer rushing opportunities for Chase Brown.
I bet you're glad you already played the Patriots now, huh? That's already, you don't want to play them going forward, I bet. Not the way the Patriots look right now. You're glad that one's in the tank, don't you? Maybe I'll see you in the playoffs there, Boggs.
Yeah, right. Like either one of us is going to make it past the first round.
Hey, both teams are in first place as of today. Just saying. Just saying.
Maybe the auto passed the first. We'll see.
All right. The Cincinnati Bengals are the worst team in the NFL in terms of giving up fantasy points, by the way, to opposing tight ends. Therefore, I've already done a video talking about Jonnu Smith plus 360 for a touchdown in this game, but Boggs has a different tight end that he wants to talk about, so I'm going to let you unleash the beast of Darnell Washington on the people.
Big Wash. His boy. Number is 18.5 receiving yards. If y'all have never watched Darnell Washington, he is a 6th offensive lineman as a tight end.
He is. I'll never forget his combine when he was doing the sled, and I couldn't believe the power of that human. I was like, this guy's a tight end. I was like, look at this guy. It's unbelievable. I'll never forget it. Never forget it.
My favorite thing is watching all of these streamers that, they just watch the NFL. They don't watch the combine or any of that stuff. So they don't know who Darnell Washington is. And they're going, who is this dude?
Yeah.
Why is this old lineman running patterns down the field? But in the last 2 weeks, Wash has been your leader in snaps for the Steelers. They finally unleashed him. He went from under 50% snap rate in the first 3 weeks to 90% 2 weeks ago and 80% last week. In those 2 games, he mainly blocks, but he ran 16 and 18 routes. He was targeted 3 times against Minnesota and 5 times last week against the Browns. Since he doesn't blitz a lot, but Washington played more than Jonnu and Freiermuth 2 weeks in a row, and he's just become part of this Arthur Smith game plan right now. And I tell you who else loves him, Aaron Rodgers, because that gives him another offensive lineman, and he wants to reward that dude for blocking most of the time. So he had made it a point to give Big Wash a couple targets here in these games. And I got to tell you, he's ignored in the pass game a lot. Last week, they started with a pass to Darnell Washington for like 15 yards because they didn't think he was running a route. They thought he was going downfield to block for the run, and they ignored him, and he was wide open.
I still feel like the Steelers offense runs like it would in 1995. It's a very like 90s Madden offense, I feel like.
Yeah,
tell me I'm wrong.
Smith,
tell me where I'm
No,
telling
you're
lies,
not wrong. I hate
right?
it. I've never liked this offense. It's Arthur Smith's offense.
It is so Madden 95. Like that's what it feels like.
Look, I didn't like Bruce Arians, right? Because I thought he spread it out too much and he got Ben killed. The offensive line was bad for most of Ben's career, and he got him murdered and injured a bunch. But I don't want to just go to ground and pound like we're Army. This is a little absurd, but it's working right now. They're 4-1. I'm not complaining.
Who was on the cover of Madden 95? You want to take a guess?
Madden 95? Was that just like the original Madden?
It wasn't. I don't think it was the original. No, there was a couple.
Okay, hold on. Was it Garrison Hurst?
No, it was still John Madden. So when did it
was still
change?
John Madden. Okay.
When did it change over? I'm looking right now. Like what year was that? I thought it would. So Madden 97. Was he on there in 99? I seem to remember him all the way up to 99.
I think there was because it was when Game Day came out, they started having the player on the cover,
and that's what changed. That's a great documentary, by the way. If you're a football nerd, did you watch that? The EA Sports one about Madden? everybody out there, I'm telling you right now, watching the program today, listening to the program, watch this. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll pull it up there. But it was Eddie George was the first guy who was
Eddie
in 2001.
George.
But that was part of that. They talked about that war between them and game day. They talked about developing the game. It was like a 4-part series. But if you grew up with that game as we did and the evolution of it, and it's a must watch, super entertaining. In fact, I'm probably going to rewatch it again this season. All right, let's talk about Jamarr Chase. This one I've already put a video out on as well. I am in on the over on this at 73.5 receiving yards. I think, and it's funny because it was less. It was 69.5 when I put the show together yesterday.
Right.
So
it was 70.5 last night when I was putting this together.
Yeah, now it's 73.5. So get it while the getting's good, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is, look, just Flacco has never been afraid to force the ball to his favorite target, and Chase had 12 targets last week. And the Steelers secondary is actually much improved. They signed Darius Slay in the offseason. They traded for Jalen Ramsey, but both those guys are banged up. I think they'll both play, but they're both clearly less than 100%. And there's just been some big games for your target leaders against Pittsburgh. Judy is the only number one target that hasn't hit this number against Pittsburgh. Garrett Wilson, 9 targets, 7 catches, 95, and a touchdown. JSN, 8 for 103, and Kupp, 7 for 90 in that same game. Even your boy Hunter Henry had 8 for 90 and 2 scores. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison went for over 100 yards, and Fannin had 10 targets and had 7 catches for 81 yards against the Steelers. So your leader in targets against Pittsburgh has cleared this every time except last week where Cleveland, Jerry Jeudy dropped 2 or 3 balls. I mean, just the dude has no hands. It is becoming ridiculous. But everybody else has passed it, and I expect Jamarr Chase to pass this as well.
It's in the game on Amazon Prime. That is the name of the series. Fantastic. 5 stars. Amazing insights about John Madden, why he wanted it to look good in certain things, and why, it's John Madden who really did make the game what it was, because
I mean,
they even wanted to make it like a 7-on-7. He's like, well, that's not football. And they wouldn't do that. Amazing. He
is the reason. Maybe I did watch this because now this is coming back to me. But I know if it's in the game, it's in the game. That was from Madden. He said, if it's in our game, I want it in our game.
Yeah. It's amazing. And then the evolution of it, the game day stuff was really interesting, and putting the players on it, not John Madden, and all that stuff. Just fantastic. And a good friend of mine now is one of the main guys over there in terms of player profiling, Matt Franciscovich. Used to write for the Black Book, used to work for NFL.com for years. And it's amazing to see the evolution. Like, his job is to make player ratings. Like, that's what he's like, the head of that. It's unbelievable.
Welsh and I played a nail biter, Madden.
Oh yeah, how's that going? The stream's on Twitch, Fantasy Pros, twitch.tv/Fantasy Pros. So this is annoying to me. So this is like my idea, and I don't get to play. Why don't I get to play? I'm like, we should talk fantasy and betting and stuff while we play Madden. It would be fun. And then next thing I know, you and Welsh are doing it. What the hell?
If you want to play Welsh next week, I'll do play-by-play.
You know what? Maybe I want to do play-by-play with you two yokels. That could be fun too.
Okay. Yeah.
Just got to ease my way into it, figure it out. All right. Aaron Rodgers, last but certainly least. Let's talk about him here. Passing touchdowns. The number is 1.5. Over or under?
Yeah, over. I mean, since he has allowed 13 passing touchdowns this season, A-Rod has hit this in 3 of 5 games. Flacco in week 1 and Jordan Love last week were the only 2 that haven't hit this against Cincy. Flacco, when Flacco was playing for Cleveland in week 1, who is now the quarterback of Cincy, by the way, if you didn't catch that, but the Steelers have 10 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns this year. So when you get down there, it's usually A-Rod wanting the glory. So I think they're going to continue with that. And he has more than 1.5 passing touchdowns because Cincinnati's defense has not been good at all.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hard sell. I think this is actually a very good bet right here. He hit
this is one you just add with something. I feel like the juice isn't even that good in most spots. The best I found was -120, but -130s in most places. So this is just like a tack on to something.
Yeah, I like it. Or if you'll just take him with the money line, you put those 2 things together and just keep it real simple. Maybe you can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. I couldn't find it, but I also, the defensive props have just been coming out later and later for these games. But Nick Herbig over half a sack, if you can find that somewhere. TJ Watt questionable. He dusted Cleveland twice last week. The dude is just, he is a Tasmanian devil.
Low key, I kind of like Aaron Rodgers touchdown prop this week of plus 1,500. Like, only because I feel like it's like, I don't know why I have this terrible vision of Aaron Rodgers just like running some weird bootleg and just kind of walking into the end zone because Cincinnati's a hot mess defensively.
That's a great, I love this vision. Put it up on your vision board.
I know. It's like one of those, I might have to bet that just for S's and G's. I mean, it's so much, like for why
S's
not?
and G's. Just put half
why
a
not?
unit on it.
There you go. Also, don't forget, prop bet cheat sheet. That's going to give you all the S's and the G's and all the insights you possibly need to score on your props. Go to bettingpros.com/props or just download the Betting Pros app and check out the prop bet cheat sheet. Get all the best values on the projections for passing, rushing, receiving, all the categories, the best line, and the best house to bet them in. So that's what you do. Sync your sports books for free on Betting Pros and use the prop bet cheat sheet to help you unlock all the best in the world of props. All right, once again, gonna try to keep this simple for the SG Joey P. Ice cold, baby. I am colder than the relationship between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. That's how cold I am right now. Give me the over Jamarr Chase, and this pisses me off too because this was 350 when I put it in 2 days ago. And now because it's 73.5 and the odds have changed, now it's plus 223, but that's it. I got to keep it real now. I already betted at the 351 when it was a smaller number at 69.5. So I'm going to give that to myself because I was in on this early. So if I get 69.5 and the Jamarr Chase touchdown, I'm still calling it a win, but I think we can get 73.5 anyway. So here we go. Jamarr Chase to score a touchdown. Jamarr Chase to go over 73.5. Those are my favorite bets. You put them together, you get 223, not as sexy as the plus 351. But what am I going to do? This is all I can do. I already talked about
Johnny. Can I bet an exacto for Jamarr Chase to have 72 yards?
Sure.
Is that possible?
Sure. Go for it, jerk. All right. So obviously my touchdown call is Jamarr Chase at plus 145, but in all transparency, I did just bet Aaron Rodgers plus 1,500 too. I don't know why. I just got this weird feeling about it. And if he does, it will be the only happy moment I have of Aaron Rodgers bringing me joy. Ever.
Yeah, you'll start your Miss Cleo line if that happens. Call Joey now.
Call him now,
for a tarot card reading.
Why not? Hey, throw a buck on it too. Get you $15 for nothing, for fun. That's what you do. All right, so Boggs, Jamarr Chase is my touchdown call plus 145. I also gave the bonus too. I think Jonu's a really good one, but I feel like you're going somewhere else for the touchdown call.
Yeah, look, I think just there's two easy ones here, or there's one really easy one. I think the best bet for a touchdown is T. Higgins. He's had more end zone targets than anybody else between these two teams, and you're doubling up with a little extra juice, plus 220 on his touchdown. So I think that's the best touchdown bet, but Big Wash is plus 350. They're using him more. He doesn't have any end zone targets yet, but they're using him more and more. He's definitely going to be in goal line packages. I think this could be the week. So I'm going to have a little cheese on Big Wash to score one as well. Darnell Washington at plus 350. But I do think T. Higgins at plus 220 is a very good buy. So that's my official call, but I also like Big Wash here.
Yeah. And it's weird too, because I actually like the under for the Flacco yardage, but I like the over for Jamarr Chase. I just feel like it's all going to Chase. Like I know
it's not going to Gesicki. I know he's out for the year now. So
I know it feels like a weird, it shouldn't be, like, well, you can't possibly like the under on Flacco, but the over on Chase. I'm like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. He can still get to 200 and 100 of it can be Jamarr Chase. Half of it's going to go his way. I just feel like that's a good bet potentially. So we're in on the receivers for the Bengals. We're in on the tight ends of the Steelers. What are you in on? Drop your comments below. What are your picks for Thursday Night Football? Drop the comments in the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. We can do it with your help. And also go to bettingpros.com/contest. Win yourself that helmet. Download the Hard Rock Sportsbook app. Support our sponsor and enjoy the games. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Scott Bogman, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy your Thursday Night Football.